I thank the gentleman for having this special order. Let me bring an additional perspective to the importance of local broadcasters, TV, radio. I live down on the Gulf Coast. We call where I live in my district Hurricane Alley. Just since I've been in Congress, Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Rita, Hurricane Humbert, Hurricane Ike, and Hurricane Gustav have all hit my congressional district. Now, some blame me. That's not my fault. But here they come, all of these hurricanes. And we're down on the Gulf Coast, and as soon as the hurricanes come through, guess what? There goes the power, electricity. Besides all of the flooding, the damage, the wind, all of this happens when season comes upon us in the summer. And so the local folks, to get information, if they're still at home, they're watching local TV. Many are not because they have to leave because of rising water and wind damage. When Hurricane Ike came into Galveston, Texas, it went across the island, and then when the wind shifted, it came back across the island. But that salt water went across and came back. Tremendous damage in Galveston, Texas. And the only thing the people could listen to or find information really was their car radio as they're trying to leave the area. So the radio stations and TV stations that are still on the air are very vital for public safety and information and about the weather. They have to people listen to the local broadcasters about what's happening right there. When Hurricane Rita came into Houston in 2005, approximately 2.5 million to 3 million people evacuated. Now, some say that this is the largest evacuation in American history. I don't know. That's a lot of people on the road, and they're all headed north to get away from the wind and the rain and the flooding that's taking place. And what people were listening to in the car was local radio stations that were on the air broadcasting not just the weather, but the traffic that was taking place. Eventually, the freeways, the interstates, all allowed traffic to move on all lanes north. The way the folks found out about that was on the radio. The announcements being made by the Department of Public Safety, Texas Highway Department, that the lanes had been shifted so that everybody could travel in all of the lanes that took place. So that information, so vital. But it's not just important during hurricane season. It's important, as already stated by the gentleman from Arkansas, it's important during even normal weather, if we can call what's taking place here in Washington normal weather with the snow and the ice. People want to listen to listen to local radio to find out, and local television. Also, even go back to Katrina. We all remember Hurricane Katrina. Folks in Louisiana left Louisiana, and they came to Texas. And as they were getting to Texas, guess what? Hurricane Rita hit Texas. But Houstonians primarily, when those folks from Louisiana were coming our way, were told by local media on where they could go to take things for those neighbors from Louisiana, everything from food and blankets, and go volunteer to help out to find shelter for these individuals. Oh, local radio, local television is broadcasting how that can be done, how that can be helped to those individuals. That couldn't have been done if we didn't have our local broadcasters who know the area, know the people. We have Amber Alert. That's throughout the country. 296 Texas children that were abducted had been rescued because of the Amber Alert system that was created in 1998 by the Dallas-Fort Worth broadcasters. The issue that I want to mention is well, there's two more, and they're just as important. Local radio and television has local political issues and debates on our community, from the local politicians, the local office holders, and even others. That's all done locally by our broadcasters on television. It's done on radio all the time. There's political argument and debate by our local media. And something that's important to us, I don't know about the Dakotas, but it's important to us. We like football in Texas. We like high school football. And let's be a little specific. On Friday night, everybody is playing football at the high schools, at the stadiums. Our local broadcasters, yes, they're out there at the stadiums, and at 10 o'clock news, they have a little bit of news, then they have a little bit of weather, and then they spend most of the rest of the news broadcasting tapes from the high school football games in the Houston area. They are very important, Mr. Speaker, to know exactly who won the game, who the visiting team was. High school football. We're not going to see that unless we have local broadcasting. And, of course, high school football is on the radio as well. I do want to mention that important service that local broadcasters give us. We have a lot of great broadcasters in the Houston area, both on radio and television. I'd like to mention some of them. Channel 13 have Dave Ward. I think he's been on television, nightly news. I don't know, I'd hate to say 30 years, but maybe that's been that long or more. Along with Gina Gaston. On Channel 26, we got Jose Grignon. Channel 2, Bill Baeza and Dominic Sasha. And then Channel 11, Greg Hurst and Lisa Hernandez. Years ago, there was this local television celebrity that worked for Channel 13. He turned out to be a celebrity named Marvin Zindler. He is an icon in the Houston area. He's a local broadcaster, and he spent time going around in the Houston restaurants, examining restaurants, and as he said, looking for slime in the ice machine. And he did a nightly broadcast on restaurants that just weren't up to the health standards of the city of Houston. Other investigative reporters are doing something very similar on the local basis as well, but it's all local. It's the local broadcasters that are doing it. So I commend the gentleman, Mr. Kramer. I'm sorry I talked so long, but the local folks, we certainly couldn't exist without them. And radio, television, we appreciate what they do, and not just for football, but for the other things as well. And I'll yield back to the gentleman.
I thank the gentleman from